In 2019, I was like, I'm getting on stage at least 300 times.
That's cool.
This year, and I hit like 330.
What is your process?
The best stuff comes from just sitting down and thinking about it, just like actually doing the work. There's an app that I like called Flow State. So you set a timer for how long you want to write for. If you stop typing for 7 seconds, it completely deletes everything that you've written.
So the idea is just whatever's in the brain, get it on the page.
I gotta bust that brain nut.
Bust the brain nut. What does it mean to have your shit together, do you think?
We want to eat healthy, quit watching porn, make money, be funny, succeed in stand-up. We want like the podcast to do well. If you're eating unhealthy all the time, like you have no energy, you just want to sleep all day, you're depressed because you're constantly crashing off like sugar and carbs.
What would you do if you were 15 right now?
I'm kind of doing what the 15-year-olds. I'm on YouTube watching rap documentaries and like Bronx drill music videos.
We're doing what every 15-year-old would be doing. Trying to do content, trying to do comedy, trying to do YouTube.
I'd be smoking way better weed.
Yeah. Welcome, everyone, to the OG Pod. Today, I have Jesse Burlingame, who's a comic here in Austin and host of the Lonely Man's podcast.
Right here, babe. Brought my merch.
Repping the merch. Where can we buy your merch, sir?
teespring.com/lonelymans. Actually, don't buy it from there. I don't know if I can log into it anymore.
Oh, okay.
Well, if you want a shirt, get it, but I might not get paid for it. I have no idea.
Dude, what is going on in the world? Tell us a story.
Of
what are you into?
The merch?
No, just like life. Like, I feel like there's so much crazy shit happening right now. I met a guy at the park today. He was talking to me about aliens.
The park over here. I like your area, dude. You're like over the river and through the woods. This is nice.
Yeah, it is. I'm trying to stay here.
Yeah, I'm over the river and through the hood right now.
yeah, through the hood. We're gentrifying Austin and the comics.
Yeah, it's not gentrified enough. My rock climbing shoes got stolen off of my doorstep the other day. Oh, and shit. I was hoping the person would open up the package and be like, I don't rock climb. I'm just going to return these to the owner.
Do you know who's that YouTuber, Rob? Something he does, or Mark Robert, I think is his name.
Mark Robert, yeah.
Robert. Oh, is that his name? Robert.
Yeah, Mark Robert.
He does this like funny trick where he fills a camera up with glitter.
Yeah.
And then like has it be like a fake thing on a doorstep and people steal it, and then he like gets them covered in glitter, films the whole thing, throws it on YouTube. Yeah, he puts
fart spray in there.
Fart spray in there.
Every year he like ramps up. He's like, I'm gonna add more fart spray. Yeah. And then you get this like super fine glitter that you can't get out of like your skin even, I think.
That is what I love about this world is people have way too much time and money and they're just doing crazy shit.
That guy used to work for NASA and now he's covering poor people in glitter and
much better use of time. Much better use of time. Like we got enough engineers, right? Yeah. They launched the James Webb Space Telescope. We got scientists working on it. Let's get fart spray.
Yeah, we need. Let's take it. He's knocking off like Indian call centers too. He's trying to take those guys
I did
down.
see a little bit of that. Yeah,
dude. There's so many YouTube channels dedicated to Indian scam call centers, which I guess are multi-billion-dollar schemes, and they're run by real like corporate leaders in India. They like fund them secretly.
What are they scamming like old people? What are they doing?
Yeah, they mostly make the old people, the mentally, I don't know what we call it anymore.
Retarded? Yes. Challenge. And they say I'm autistic, so I can say retarded. Neurodivergent. I like that.
They prey on the neurodivergent elderly people.
Yeah.
I forget what one guy's called. He just opened his own call center to catch these guys because they have software where they can get into these call center guys' computers, get their whole call list, and then they call victims and see if they've already sent out the money. And they like catch it in between the pickups and the drop-offs sometimes.
It's like a war. It's a war of who can like dump the most resources into these kind of like plays or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm glad the one guy did open an office and like hire a team and is actually trying to help people, because I'm like, is he just like monetizing off of people getting scammed? But he actually cares. He tries to get them their money back if they can.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing I've been thinking about with AI, which I talk a lot about on this show, is what is going to happen when like somebody just builds a chat bot that just spams the internet. This is probably already happening on Twitter and forums and stuff.
Russia's probably got
Russia troll farms. We know about those. Those are real. That's just real. Yeah. That's as real as the FBI.
You need to hire human beings. Now, if I can get a computer to do that.
Yeah. Well, like imagine if you can just like, if you don't have to be Putin, if you're like some 15-year-old kid in your basement and you just know how to code or whatever, you don't even have to know how to code. You just know how to tell GPT to code. And you go and you like single out, just somebody in your community or a teacher or whatever, just somebody you have a vendetta against, and you just start writing like insane reviews, post them on Google, and like get these AI bots working for you.
Yeah.
One of the thoughts,
AI bots spamming ratemyprofessor.com.
Yes, that kind of shit. Exactly. Like that's what's going to happen. That's going to be the future. Yeah. And like
the future of trolling is now. Dude.
Yes. That is the ultimate use of AI is trolling. But it actually does seem to be.
They can write memes now. The 2024 election is probably going to be all AI generated Trump memes.
Yeah. I've been messing around with this AI art. We're Instagram friends now. And so you're going to see a lot of my. I'm posting it all the time because it's so easy to create it. Yeah. Like you just type in anything you're thinking. It feels like fishing. Yeah. Where like you're just casting your line out. Mm-hmm. You never know what you're going to get. Sometimes you get something freaking cool. Yeah. And then you can elaborate it.
Did your avatar you with like Fabio hair, like flowing locks?
Yeah.
Did you have long hair at one point?
I did have kind of long hair. No, my avatar is a AI art though.
Yeah.
From
like you was a barbarian or something.
It's just me looking cool. Yeah. I just thought it looked cool at least. It's like 40% more muscle than I have. Like perfect lighting.
Was that the one app that everyone used?
Yeah, Lenza.
How much? They made a killing in like a week. It's over now.
It's over.
Yeah.
It's good that their servers could handle it. Like when you pop or explode, you got to be ready to handle the load.
Yeah, because they were around for 2 years, and then some influencer found them.
Yeah,
and it went crazy. Or I think they rolled out that selfie thing, and probably paid somebody to like post about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because within 2 days, I'm like, oh, this is the thing this week.
Yeah. Well, I think it's pretty cool, though. It looks cool. Like, you feed in a bunch of faces, and you get something that's like
way hotter than what you really
exactly. I'm like, I'm just going to use this forever. It's never going to age. It's always going to look great, and people can recognize it.
Once they come out with a more realistic version, I guess that's already like the Instagram filters that I won't say just women use, because I know men use them a lot, too.
Do they?
If I could filter out my adult acne, dude, yeah, I would go. I'll get a Facetune.
Do you think women want to see a little grit? And well, maybe not. Maybe they want a pretty boy. I have no idea.
No idea.
We should get a girl in here and ask her. What do you really want to see?
You got the couch. You gotta have like a panel of women.
One day.
Like challenge all the dudes you have.
We'll get the girls from what was that podcast we were just talking about?
Fresh and Fit.
No, Your Mom's House. No, that's
Call Her Daddy.
Call Her Daddy. Yeah.
We can't afford that. Do it.
Yeah, they're making money now.
Have you seen Fresh and Fit?
Maybe they'll do it just because they're nice.
Fresh and Fit like trolls sugar daddy websites and dating apps, and they find these like stereotypical club girls, and they'll have like some like red-pilled Manosphere guest on, and then surround him with literally 12 chicks off the street. And they just like make fun of them the whole time for being women.
Oh, I mean, what do you think of this red pill stuff, this Manosphere? I can't tell if it's like dying out or if it's picking up. Like, it seems like it's been in the news for a while.
It's going through ebbs and hoes right now.
Yeah, ebbs and hoes.
Like, yeah, well, Andrew Tate flew way too close to the sun. So
people say smart. I'd like to meet him.
I like Andrew Tate as a comedian. I discovered him through Tom Segura's comedy podcast. So that's how I was introduced to him. So I'm like, all right, he's saying wild shit about women. He's trying to promote something. And then it turns out he has this online school, which I bought a 1-month membership to see.
No, he got you. He got
$50 out of me.
Oh, shit.
It's a Discord server that teaches you how to do Amazon drop shipping, which you can learn from about 1,000 YouTube tutorials.
It's just an MLM. It like seems so.
It is.
Yeah.
They have professors. The professors curate free videos from YouTube.
Yeah.
Which is kind of nice if you don't want to like look for all this stuff yourself. But they're like, hey, watch this hour-long YouTube video that's online for free that I found myself by Googling copywriting or whatever.
But then you talk to other people and they love those courses. And they're like, hey, this person took the time to curate the content, put it in like a structure, put it in a lesson format.
Yeah.
And I'll buy 5 of those just because I'm interested.
A friend of mine was taking a $500 copywriting course. And I was like, oh, well, there's a copywriting section on here. Check this out. And she's like, can you send that to me?
Everything I've learned, and this is why I love YouTube, and please don't ever ban me because I freaking love YouTube.
Yeah, are you on Rumble yet? I upload all my stuff to Rumble as well.
As a safety measure, I probably should. I probably should.
Just in case I get labeled as a Manosphere podcast. We're called Lonely Mans. It's 2 men that talk about dating sometimes. We might get lumped in with all these guys.
Yeah,
just in case.
It's not a bad idea. But I don't know, man. Everything I learned, even like how to produce a show, I learned from YouTube. Mm-hmm. Everything, like coding, music, like anything I've been interested in over the years, I've been able to enhance through YouTube. Mm-hmm. And it's an incredible network of content, library of content.
Yeah, my car breaks all the time and I go to a garage to fix it. I'm like, I'm going to stop doing that and just start buying tools and doing everything myself.
You can.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, with these new electric vehicles,
there's already people on YouTube that are hacking these cars and stuff.
That's scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's people creating their own self-driving mechanisms for Teslas, like overriding all this stuff.
You know, like the Tesla has a camera inside the cabin.
No, I didn't know that.
That shit's creepy.
Oh, my co-host Ben Basunga we were talking about this on our podcast the other day, how eventually they're going to have face tracking technology to tell if you're too tired or too drunk to operate the vehicle.
That might not be a bad idea, actually. Like safety mechanisms. Yeah, because where's the line of freedom?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. What do you think?
You're just what's Darwin's thing?
The survival of the fittest.
Yeah,
natural selection.
Natural selection. Yeah. You're removing natural selection.
That's true. Yeah,
it's artificial selection.
Yeah, it is. We're keeping the dummies alive. Yeah. It's like glasses for low IQ or something.
I just drove. My brother lives in Jacksonville, and he was like, "Don't fly, drive down. That way you can have your car all week, and you can do your own thing." I was like, "All right, cool." So he flew into Austin, and then we took turns driving to Jacksonville. But on the way back, I had to drive myself. And stupidly, I drove for 18 hours straight. And by the last hour, it felt worse than like any time I've ever been drunk. Not that I like drink and drive, but like I got out of the car at a rest stop, like a convenience store, and literally stumbled into this place. My eyes were like so bleary, like I look fucked up. But I was only an hour away. I was like, I can make it, dude. And I just like, you ever put the thumbs up on the steering wheel to like line up the lines on the road?
No, how does that work? That's when you're super tired. Yeah, I could see how that would work.
I had like the windows open. I'm like blasting Joe Rogan podcast, trying to stay awake.
I had this drive I was doing from North Carolina to Texas to Austin.
Yeah, it's probably about
my
the same distance.
Place. Yeah, it was like 1,200 miles. It was a long drive. Mm-hmm. And it was the same thing the last couple hours, but I was hitting this storm and it was like heavy rain. And this weird thing happened where it like warped my vision, where like I could not, it was the most disturbing feeling because it looked like I wasn't moving.
Yeah.
But I knew I was going like 60 miles an hour. And so I was just like staring at the line on the left of the road.
Yeah.
And just like following that line.
That's what I had to get in the left lane eventually and follow that line.
Yeah.
But then everyone was trying to pass me on the right the whole time.
Right.
Because I didn't want to go too fast either. Like, yeah, maybe I do need a safety mechanism in my car that like makes me like pull over.
We're going to have this AI world where like every car drives itself. Yeah. Everything is monitored. You walk into a store and it knows who you are. Mm-hmm. You're like not going to have to like, ever use your credit card. Have you heard of those? The Amazon stores?
With the thumbprint or the handprint?
It's like, I think a Whole Foods actually, where it's no checkout. You just walk in, pick up whatever you like. Mm-hmm. The camera tracks your face, tracks everything. And you just walk out with your food and no transaction.
Overdrafts your debit card.
Yeah. Dude, yesterday I watched this guy walk into HEB, pick up 4 chickens, walk right out. And I'm like, that must happen 10 times a day.
Yeah.
That must happen 10 times a day.
I've heard of people filling like carts like with meats and stuff. Like they're like, I'm having a barbecue and I have no money. And they just fill up a cart and just run it out to the back of a truck.
I don't know. If you need to do that, like, I guess you just take it. I don't even have that big of a problem with it. I'm not HEB.
I worked at Walmart for way too long as a cashier. I was in the garden center. It's way on the side. There's only a couple registers. People would just run out with shit all the time.
Yeah, it's kind of baked in, I guess, to their costs or whatever.
Yeah.
The fraud. But still, like...
I was in a small town. So I'm from Worcester, Massachusetts. It's the second biggest city in New England next to Boston. So... I was working at a Walmart, a town next to Worcester, and then Worcester opened its own Walmart, like huge, like 24 hours.
Supercenter.
It was a supercenter. Within 6 months, they eliminated the 24-hour policy and hired like full-time security guards because they lost over $5 million in a year. Yeah, from theft. And a lot of the employees were stealing out of there too.
Wow. I mean...
Overnights, like... I don't think maybe they had one overnight security guard or something, but like a door greeter's not paying attention at 3 a.m. Like
at some point it's easier just to like make money than to steal. I feel like, I guess it depends on what you're trying to do in life.
Yeah.
But so let's talk about you. What are the things that you got going? You got Lonely Man's podcast, you got stand up,
doing the podcast.
What are your comedy ambitions?
I want a headline. I want to get on the road.
Yeah. The road seems pretty cool.
Yeah.
What if it sucks though? What if it's just like a lot of driving?
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, me
it's
too.
gonna be for a while.
That'd be great, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Unless like you pop off like a Hans Kim, and I love Hans Kim.
Yeah.
Friend of the pod, friend of the Lonely Man's podcast. He was able to pop in a way where he like skipped all that like driving from state to state. Like he'll drive to like Dallas and Houston and San Antonio, maybe like Oklahoma, but he was able to like skip that whole like just driving around the whole country, you know. But I would be down with that.
I would be down with it too. I was talking to who was it? I can't remember, but
I need to do that like anyway. Like that's a good way to network. You just like drive out to random cities or fly out to random cities for a week, hit all the open mics, do all your best shit. Everyone's like, "Who's this guy? What's your Instagram?" You come back with like a whole contact sheet, and you're like, "Hey, are there any shows I can headline?" Blah blah blah. People are like, "Oh yeah, I'll put you on."
Yeah, I've been going full podcast mode, and so I haven't done much stand up, but someday I will circle back to it. You know, all in, like literally a matter of months. If you tie everything together, because I did some in Utah, I did some out here, but I never was able to get into a groove where it was like every single week. I know I'm doing. I guess I got into a groove a couple times, and that was nice when you get in the groove. But it's hard to get in that groove because it's such a chaotic world. And like mics are opening, mics are closing, and it's just like
I've been doing it. Next month will be 6 years.
Hell yeah. 6 years is a good amount of time.
The first year was like a couple a month, up 2 to 4 a month, open mics. The next year, I met Paul Cyphers and Ben Basunga, my two best friends. I moved to Austin, Texas with, both co-hosts on the Lonely Man's podcast.
Are they from Massachusetts as well, or?
Ben's from Colorado. Paul and I are both Massachusetts boys.
Cool.
But we all lived in Worcester at the time. So we met, and we all started within months of each other in 2017. So we were like, 2018, we're doing this at least 3 times a week. We just set a small goal like that, and that was easy to achieve. And then we got so used to that, we're like, oh, let's just go do more. So then in 2019, I was like, I'm getting on stage at least 300 times.
That's cool.
This year, and I hit like 330 or 315. I think Ben got 330. I got like 315.
What is your process? How do you? Where does your material come from? What topics do you like talking about? How do you come up with this?
Just conversations. I'll make notes on my phone. Just the best stuff comes from just sitting down and thinking about it. Just like actually doing the work. And writing. There's an app that I like called Flow State that I use on my MacBook. It's a word processor. So you set a timer for how long you want to write for, from 5 minutes to 3 hours. If you stop typing for 7 seconds, it completely deletes everything that you've written.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So it keeps you in the flow is the idea.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's called like the most dangerous.
Now, is there any way to, there must be like a Command Z for that.
No, there's no undo.
What?
Yeah.
So the idea is just whatever's in the brain, get it on the page.
Just dump everything out. Yeah. I journal with that a lot too.
Same.
So I'll do that for 15 minutes in the morning. Just get all the bullshit out of my brain to start the day.
It's so helpful to just get the bullshit out of your brain. And then you can, it's like jacking off. You just got to get the poison out. Then you can do other things.
I got to bust that brain nut before I go out.
Oh my God. I love that line. Bust the brain nut. Absolutely.
Yeah. I got to get that off, dude, before I hurt somebody.
Yeah, man.
I'll do that for 15 minutes. I'll look through my notes and grab like 4 or 5 ideas, set that timer for an hour, and then I'll bang on each topic for like 10 to 15 minutes, and then go back. And if it's like something I really like, then I'll do that again, try to do that for longer.
So you get a topic, you write about that for some time, 15 minutes.
Yeah, not even like really trying to be funny about it.
Yeah, just whatever you're interested in, whatever ideas are coming. And then in that, how do you translate that to the stage?
And then you got to take it on stage, just work it out.
Are you rehearsing it? Are you doing bullets? Like, how scripted do you get?
I'm a big bullet points guy.
Nice.
Yes, I will write. I'm like, this is the setup. This is the punchline. This is the tag. They're all like indented and everything. I do that a lot.
I like that. I like that format actually, because it kind of like is the natural rhythm when you're listening to comedy. People have a flow, and then that's the joke, and it kind of has a cadence, and you can get that cadence while you're writing, and it does seem to be in that bullet format.
Yeah, I try to write how I'm gonna do it on stage, and I am like very scripted, very like set up, punch, quick jokes, like in and out. I've been trying to expand on more things. Like you just gotta sit with the bit and write on it and just think of more stuff. And then people will give you tags too.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote Paul Cyphers a lot.
You ever do Alden's tag mic? That's pretty fun.
I used to do it at the Romo Room. I haven't done it at the Lucky Duck yet.
Is that where we met? Romo Room or maybe Creek or Vulcan?
I think the Creek.
Okay. Yeah.
The other day we were definitely at the Creek together.
Oh yeah. But I feel like back in the day, I was at Romo Room a lot. That was like, I loved that mic.
Oh, okay. We might have met there then.
Yeah.
I would drop in there once in a while.
Yeah.
Those mics were terrible, but
they were terrible. But they had this sign up that I loved because you could like get your exact slot and you knew exactly where you were. And
that was convenient.
It was very convenient. It was very convenient.
You just had to refresh the list all day to wait for the new one to pop up to grab a spot.
I built this script that would monitor the web page.
Did you?
Yeah, it would automatically sign me up whenever it was released.
Dude, I need you on my team for bullshit like that.
Dude, now ChatGPT can do it.
It can write you a refresh script.
It can write you really good code. And so like I think the thing that is going to separate people in the future is like if you know how to ask the right questions.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be an expert at anything anymore.
I'm good at Google searching, so I might be good at ChatGPT.
Dude, I think if you are good at Google searching, it's the same muscle. Because some people like can't get Google results to save their life.
I hate watching a podcast where like, can you look this up? And the person's putting in the completely wrong keywords.
Yeah.
And they're like typing out a full question into Google.
But now with ChatGPT, you actually can talk to it just like a person.
Yeah.
So the ultimate dream is I have mad respect for Jamie from Joe Rogan's podcast.
He's one of the best. He does it all with one hand too.
I love everything he does and how he contributes. But like I want like a 10% version of that in a AI robot on this table
that you can like voice command.
That I can voice command. That we were talking like I think we were talking about that. I think that's where I had that idea. And because you need to be able to talk to it like a person. So you have to be able to say, what is this unit of information? And then boom, it has it like instantly, in real time.
Yeah.
But what you could do, like what would be something that you would want is like, I don't know, like a refresh script or like, some kind of step, like when you're producing your podcast, what are the steps that you take? Let's see if we can come up with some coding challenges for AI.
To like improve my podcast?
Yeah.
Like automatic uploader. I put in the one video, it automatically puts it on Rumble, YouTube, Anchor. Titles it the way I want for each platform because I title it different on Anchor than I do on YouTube. And then write me an episode description and I could contribute keywords to it.
Yes, that is the kind of shit we're going to be able to do. I don't think we're there quite yet, but I think in the future you're going to be able to be like, just describe it exactly like this. I have these 3 platforms where I put my content and I'd like to use their APIs to automatically upload it from my computer.
I wonder if that has to be out there.
There's probably a service that does it.
Yeah.
But the thing is like everyone's going to be able to customize to whatever their workflow is. So one of the things that I do just every podcast now, because it's so easy, is I take the transcript, throw it into GPT and just have it summarized because we're going to talk about so many topics. I'm never going to remember all that.
Yeah.
Like there's no, you can't record every episode and watch every second of every episode, but you want to find all those topics.
Yeah.
So feed in the transcript, have it extract the themes. Boom. Now you remember everything you talked about. You can go back and like find those things in the transcript, create clips, that kind of stuff. That's already a superpower. Then you take that theme extraction and you say, generate YouTube titles from it, generate headline marketing things from the perspective of a potential listener that would be really engaging, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And
I had ChatGPT write a promo for our podcast geared towards young women.
And there you go.
But I think it basically just said, are you a single young woman? Well, here's a podcast for you.
Sometimes it's pretty lame. Like it's not going to be able to make a joke, like there's things that it sucks at. But
you could put in like, make it funny. I had it write a bio for a comic, John Rice. He's my roommate. We have him on the podcast all the time. And he's like, oh, have it write me a bio. He's like, I suck at those. So I wrote him like a plain bio. And then I said like, make it funny. And it's like, John's got more energy than a room full of puppies on Red Bull.
Okay, well, that's
like,
something.
It's all right. Yeah, there's something there.
But that actually is the cool thing. So like, if you don't like what it created, it still has the context of the last thing.
Yeah.
So then you can just say, elaborate it this way or include this keywords or however you like to change it. And it figures it out.
Yeah. Whenever it says this is inappropriate, I try to say, make it appropriate. Sometimes it will and sometimes it won't. I'll be like, take out the the offensive parts of it.
Yeah.
I was trying to put in a Dave Chappelle transcript, and there was too many N-words and swears.
Yeah, that is like, you need your own like private version that you can say anything into.
Yeah.
And I think we'll get there though, because this is
That'll
the first
be like
year.
The premium version of it, probably.
Man, I think it's going to be so cheap though. I think it's going to be pennies a day to do unlimited access, because at the end of the day, it's just electrons. Like the hard thing was training the model. That model, GPT, I think it's like 4.5 million, whatever. The cost is paid.
Yeah.
Guess what? They're going to pay 45 million next year or whatever, maybe in 5 years. They're always going to be upgrading these models, retraining them. The new thing in AI is multimodal. So they're going to have like Chat GPT plus image generation, plus code generation, plus whatever.
It'll be like an Adobe suite.
It'll be an Adobe suite.
Yeah.
And then it all comes together in some kind of freaking sentient robot mind that wakes up and kills the human race. That's where we're headed. That's where we're headed.
Have you watched the Netflix AI generated stand-up special?
No.
It's all CGI animated, and then it was all written by AI, and it has like really corny jokes in it and stuff, but then it would have like visual like sight gags to go along with it. Like the guy's like, I got the world on my shoulders or something, and then like a giant globe like drops onto his shoulders.
That's the kind of shit that we're going to be able to do instantly.
Yeah.
It was any good or?
It was like funny as a concept.
Yeah.
But not as like a real special.
Yeah.
You couldn't like do like a face swap of a celebrity and like write a script for Dave Chappelle.
But you can imagine that in a couple more versions, we're going to start getting closer and closer to expert level production.
Yeah.
Whatever that expert is. And if they're a comedy expert, you know, it seems hard for me to imagine that it could be good at writing jokes. And I don't really know why that is. And I think it's because, first of all, a lot of comedy is contextual. And so that context is like something's in the news, or you are relating something personal on stage.
Yeah. Or it's in the moment.
It's in the moment. Your crowd work type stuff, or what the last guy said.
And crowd work kills harder than anything that you'll write, because everyone's
it is
like,
in the moment.
Oh, yeah, we're like, that's just for us.
Yeah.
It's a special thing. Like maybe he'll be able to use it again, but we don't know that.
Well,
or maybe he's written it before, but
I think
it pertains
is.
to this like very moment.
I think it is like the highest form when you can get. This is why I love Tim Dillon, because he's like got this rant muscle that's absurd.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it is just for that audience. And yeah, maybe they've done a million heckles, and so they're really good at it. And they have like, you know, like even just going to open mics, you're going to pick up a couple things to say like, oh, I'm, you know, sorry I even came out tonight or whatever. Just stuff that you like pick up that's you kind of reuse.
Yeah, there's all like the bomb saves that you save
that
up.
kind of stuff. Yeah. And so like you pick up those things, and then like a real master, they don't even think about it. They just have their whole palette to paint with or whatever.
Yeah, when an AI that recognizes like, well, this isn't going like I planned.
yeah. And it can, that's exactly what it said. This was not according to plan. Yeah. But
this was not in my program.
if they could get like some kind of context or something, it would, if AIs can write funny jokes, we're probably fucked.
Yeah.
As a species, because it can already code, it can already do art. What, you know, like
it's like face scanning everyone in the audience to see if they're too drunk.
Yes, totally. And like targeting them or whatever, like making them part of the show.
Right.
Yeah. It's going to be a wild world, but I'm pretty excited for it. So Lonely Mans, what do you guys talk about? Are men really better than women? I mean, we know the answer to that. We don't have to say it.
We talked to my co-host, Benbo Samuels. That's what I've been calling him lately, because he goes on these like Kevin Samuels type rants. Well, we kind of bullshit about everything. We named it Lonely Mans because during the pandemic, everyone was starting a podcast or an OnlyFans. So we just combined the two of them.
There you go. Oh, that's really funny.
And it's mostly Benbo and myself. Paul Cyphers comes and goes as he pleases, which he's welcome to do. He uploads onto our Patreon all the time too, like solo podcasts and like music and stuff like that. But it's really the only time I see my best friends during the week. We sit down for 2 hours a week and bullshit. So like we will just catch up with each other and see what's going on.
Yeah.
Usually there's always something crazy going on in the news. So like Kanye will come up, or Andrew Tate, like, because I knew about Andrew Tate before he like really took off. Like only like 6 months before he blew up. Once he was on Your Mom's House podcast, I started talking about him. Like, do you guys know about this guy, Andrew Tate? And everyone's like, no, tell me about him. And then 6 months later, they're like, we don't want to talk about Andrew Tate anymore.
Dude, he's got some crazy shit to say.
Yeah.
Like, women are his property and he can, like, whatever. I mean, I would be really surprised if he actually did all of these allegations. I'm sure he's done some shady shit in his life. Who hasn't? Yeah. But was he like a sex trafficker or whatever?
No women were victimized. Like, that's the best case scenario, that the Matrix really is after him and no one is hurt. No one's being kidnapped and forced to do webcam porn or whatever.
Even if he crossed a couple of lines, like, I doubt he's like systematically creating, like whatever porn or whatever like that they're saying that he did. Because if he did that, how would he put his face out into the universe?
The thing is, he might have.
Really? That's scary. That's scary. Okay, that's not good.
His origin story, which he's told on every single podcast.
Oh, can you tell it for us? I actually don't know it.
He was a broke kickboxer, owed some money to some shady people, owed like $100,000. He only had a few like tens of thousands of dollars. Bought some computers and webcams, called all of his girlfriends that were like ring card girls and stuff. Because he's a good looking guy. He's in shape. He's charismatic. I guess he had like 5 girlfriends. Flies them all out to his apartment and was like, we're going to do webcam porn together. And 4 of them were like, fuck that, and left. And one of them was like, yeah, I'll stay. And then from there, he just kept like recruiting women to do this. And then he would have guys like typing on the keyboards. So the girls just had to sit there and talk and look pretty and pretend to type. And then he would have guys chatting to them, getting them to send them money. And this is how he made like his like first $1 million. His brother Tristan still runs an OnlyFans management business, which a lot of guys do. And I'm sure that can get shady. But how they recruit these girls is what they're like filing the trafficking charges on them. Because now there's this term lover boy, which everyone's acting like they've been using for years.
It's the first I've ever heard of it.
It's like lover boy pimping or the lover boy method or something like that. So you got a girl to fall in love with you and then she'll do whatever you say.
That's how it works. That's called relationships. Like, what? Is that really seen as a negative thing?
But you're manipulating them into doing something that they wouldn't do normally.
Oh, yeah, like getting married and taking half your shit. I mean, not that that's happened to me, but like...
You might be more red-pilled and Manosphere than me, bro.
I'm just saying, like, that's relationships or whatever. Like, everyone gets what they want out of a relationship.
To an extent, I guess. But if a girl was like, I would never do porn, and then some guy was like, do porn for me... And then they do it.
So we're talking about Manosphere and
Andrew Tate, being the top G, getting women to do whatever tell them to do.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, what is it? Like, are we going to throw women who are, what do we call, gold diggers? Are we going to throw them in jail?
No, I guess.
Yeah, we're not. Like, dig all the gold you can. Like, the more the better. Like, become a decamillionaire, 100 millionaire from it.
I watch a lot of like Manosphere podcasts because I find it entertaining.
What's a good Manosphere podcast?
Like Tate's on a bunch of them, but like Fresh and Fit, I was talking about, has all the OnlyFans girls on there all the time. The stuff I take from it is basically just improve yourself and your life's probably gonna get better. If you're like fat, sad, depressed,
nobody wants to hang out with that guy. Somebody who's fat, sad, and depressed.
Yeah, no one wants to hang out with you, men or women.
Right, men or women.
Yeah. So, and then like most of the advice they give are if you're trying to pick up like a gold digging Miami club girl, like some 15-year-old kid in the Midwest, this does not apply to him whatsoever unless he like hits it big on crypto and moves to Miami or Dubai or something.
Yeah.
Like that kid just needs to...
I think the main Manosphere message is don't be a fat, lazy piece of shit. Yeah. Have something to offer people and don't chase women, right? You got to reverse that.
And don't be a fat, lazy, broke piece of shit. Yeah. Sad, broke.
Well, money matters. Money matters. It does. And, you know, like people have this attitude that, I don't know, like money isn't important. It's super important. It like actually matters a lot.
Yeah.
And so everyone should make as much money as they possibly can and keep as much money as you possibly can is the other half of that equation.
Yeah, one thing they say is every woman's a gold digger. It's just to what extent she'll admit it. Because it's like, you don't want to be the guy that has like $0. He's like 100 grand in credit card debt or something like that. Like, you don't want to take that on
totally
in your life. You're like, you want someone that can like sustain and build.
And like, be at your level also, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Or
okay,
I think
so
most women want a guy that's like a little bit like
above or
them.
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
And whatever, that's the trade. Like, people are happy with it. Men want to be around beautiful women for whatever reason. I don't even know exactly why that is.
Yeah.
But they're willing.
They're hot.
Because they're hot. Yeah. Like, we don't even have to analyze it. Like, they're hot. Solved. And women want to be around, I don't know, just like higher status people that they can... it sounds lame in this world to say provide for, but I do think there's an element to that.
Well,
in these gender dynamics.
Yeah, you want safety, whether that's like physical safety, financial safety, emotional safety.
You want to be with the guy who can fuck guys up for sure.
You want a guy who's got his like shit together.
Yep.
To some degree.
To some degree.
So
and the more the better.
These guys are telling men, get your shit together.
Yeah. That's the whole course.
Fall into place.
Yeah, that's the whole course. Charge $500. Get your shit together. Okay, so here's my question.
Subscribe to my Patreon. We'll tell you that. We'll repeat this every week.
It's just going to be on repeat.
Most of our podcast is us complaining about how we don't have our shit together and brainstorming how we can get our shit together.
Well, what does it mean to have your shit together, do you think?
We want to eat healthy, quit watching porn, make money, be funny, succeed in stand-up, succeed in
this is a really tall order. Okay.
Yeah. We want like the podcast to do well, and it all takes work. And like, if you're eating unhealthy all the time, like you have no energy, you just want to sleep all day, you're depressed because you're constantly crashing off like sugar and carbs.
You can take Adderall, but that only works for the first 2 weeks.
Yeah. The Adderall crash is crazy.
It's crazy.
You just spend all this money on Adderall. You're killing your liver. Yeah. It's not good.
Is it not good?
Adderall, it's not like a very sustainable thing.
But is it more or less sustainable than caffeine? Because I
take a lot of caffeine.
Me too.
I buy caffeine capsules. It's like half caffeine, half L-theanine.
Yeah.
Which eliminates a lot of the jitteriness. I've been on that for like 5 years.
Nice.
But when I drove from Jacksonville to Austin, I took like 6 of those. I was off like 600 milligrams of caffeine. And I was so
You're
tired.
Seeing through the earth.
I was tired, but I couldn't fall asleep. You know, like I had
that's a rough feeling. I know that feeling.
I know physical energy, but I couldn't close my eyes. So like at that level, that's not very sustainable either. I heard one doctor on one show say it's good to have like a healthy caffeine addiction, probably under 100 milligrams a day.
I just think you got to pick the drugs you like and cycle them. I like nicotine. I like weed. I like Adderall. I like alcohol. I like all those things. Now, I don't actually like alcohol that much. I think alcohol is the one I could actually live without.
I like being buzzed, but like once I get a good buzz on, I'm like, let's make this buzz even better, dude.
Yeah. One more shot, and then you're fucked.
I was out with my brother when he flew into Austin. Before we drove to Jacksonville, we went out drinking, and his friend lives in Waco, so he came down. We're all catching up. We're like 6 beers deep, and then Ben finally shows up, and he has not drank at all. So he's like, all right, let me jump into the game. Let's do shots. I did one shot, and it was just like flipped a switch. Yeah, it just went over the edge. My face melted. Yeah. My brother's like, are you good, dude? Like, he hadn't seen me in like 7 years, so he's like, doesn't know. We haven't hung out too much in our lives because he's 6 years older than me. We had different dads. We lived at different houses growing up. And then he's been in the Navy since he was 17 and has been like all over the world. So we'll see each other very briefly. So he doesn't really know my like demeanor and like mannerisms and everything. So then he's like, I don't know, maybe this is how Jesse gets when he's drunk. But Ben like was like, no, Jesse's fucked.
It's fun. You got to get plastered every once in a while just to keep it real.
It was fun until it wasn't. And then I was like, I can't even function right now. I have to like sit down and drink water at the club while my friends are like having fun and talking and shit.
Yeah.
So I don't like getting to that point with alcohol. I quit drinking for 2.5 years to get off weed because I became such a weed addict. Like Same. That was a neat, like to be a good boyfriend and a good comedian and a good employee and a friend. Like I had to quit smoking weed for a while and like really think about what was going on in my life and like analyze
not go into the haze.
I was seeing a therapist for anxiety. And before I quit, like officially, I was like, I'm going to go a whole month without smoking weed. So I go to this therapist. I'm like, yeah, I'm like really anxious at work and like around like people and blah, blah, blah. I quit smoking weed for a month and I'm like, yeah, I'm like way less anxious. And she's like, you think it's because you're not smoking weed?
Yeah. Totally. It's like,
I was like, oh yeah, I've been doing this since I was 17. I haven't gone like a day without being high. Like, and at a certain point in my 20s, the weed just like started making me way more anxious and paranoid.
It's such a good creative tool though.
It can be. I like to punch up jokes with weed. It's hard for me to sit down to smoke weed and sit down and write jokes because I won't. I'll get distracted by YouTube or my phone or something. I'd rather like sit down sober with a coffee.
Honestly, the older I get and the more kind of like things I try to take on in the world, the more I'm like, I just want to maximize my energy.
Yeah.
That's the number one thing I care about. And that means like sleep is the number one most important thing. And
that's why like Adderall and caffeine aren't great.
Are rough. Yeah. Yeah, they really do affect your sleep.
Yeah.
But weed does too. Like the dreams, that's totally real. I never dream when I'm smoking weed. Yeah. And then when I stop smoking, I dream of the craziest shit. Like I've been having these scary fucking dreams about AI getting into our heads. Now? Yeah. I mean, for the most part, I'll smoke if I'm out or on the show or whatever. But right. I would smoke every day, 6 hours a day, 10 hours a day, whatever. Yeah.
Once I got the vape pen, it like completely ruined me in 2018.
Yeah, the vape pens are dangerous.
I was just ripped all day long. You can go to the bathroom like at work or wherever. My friend and I would go to we would meet up. We worked in 2 different departments. We'd meet in the courtyard, and no one knew what like the cartridge pens looked like yet. Yeah. So we would like be ripping those out there, and no one would have any idea. And then within a few months, people started giving us the nod, and we're like, "All right, we gotta stop this."
Dude, it is pretty fun to work high though. It makes work so fun.
I worked in a laser factory running these like sputtering machines that put thin films of precious metals onto like the components.
Is it a real thing? Laser factories?
Yeah, I worked for a Russian laser factory.
Sounds awesome.
And this was like, I was there in 2016 when all that like Russiagate shit was going on. So it was like kind of funny to be. I was like, well, if it goes down, I know who pays my checks. Literally, it's Russia. But I would just be in these like, this didn't help with my anxiety either. I'm in a clean room. All the walls are all completely white. The floors are white. The ceilings are white. It's all white fluorescent lights. I'm in a white Tyvek suit, with a white, hairnet on. Like there's no visuals. There's no windows in there. There's white curtains that come down over them.
That's crazy.
So I had like no visual or like creative stimulation in there. I like had to get out of that. It was so hard to like be funny and write jokes in there.
Yeah.
But like
sounds sterile.
I started microdosing for a little bit, and I like went a little bit over the line one day, and it was just like tripping out in this fucking laser factory.
Dude, that is like a nightmare. You wake up, you're all in white in a white room. You can't escape. It's a laser factory.
It's like
if such a thing exists.
That scene in Willy Wonka where they go into they all put the white suits on.
That's a show I've never seen, shockingly.
Really?
Yeah, or a movie, I guess.
There was a scene, I think they might get like shrunk down or something like that, but like they like put on like big goggles. Like people would wear those at my job. We looked like we were in that like clean room of the Willy Wonka's chocolate factory.
Yeah. No, I never saw that one.
I forgot how we got it onto that. Oh, we're talking about like productivity and stuff. It's I watch a lot of these podcasts and I absorb a lot of this content, and Ben and I discuss it all the time, but like to get the ball rolling on it, like I can get like a month or so going strong. We'll do like sober October, but then we'll add in like we have to like cut sugar, cut porn, cut sex. Like we'll just like any like feel good distraction.
Yeah, the dopamine fast they call it.
Yes, we go on a full dopamine fast. Because like a lot of the issues that like we like a lot of guys have is like the isolation and just like trying to like you isolate yourself and then you're like distracting yourself, I guess,
from the isolation. But that's what podcasts and comedy is really good for, actually, is getting you out of that hole.
But like I will isolate and watch like 6 hours of podcasts, and I'm like, why isn't my podcast doing well like these guys? And it's like, oh, because they like do the work for this podcast. They edited it, they upload all the clips, like they're writing jokes, all this stuff.
A lot of it seems to be promotion. Like you gotta find a way to let people know about your stuff. Like you can have the best stuff ever.
Well, going on other podcasts helps. So.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I mean that, like that's a big goal is to
get booked on other shows.
Yeah, because
that's how I find podcasts, is through podcasts.
That's totally true. That's how I find everyone, is through podcasts.
Yeah.
And I think the reason why people love podcasts is because you really are just hanging out. Like you're in the room and whatever's happening is, you're there for it.
There's a good meme where it's a kid sitting next to a poster of people at lunch laughing together, and it's me listening to podcasts.
Yeah, right. Yeah, seriously.
Because you're like laughing along with people that aren't really there.
Yeah. But my question is, are they not really there because we have like these monkey brains that are not evolved for having like that stimulus in our ear all the time? We're the first people in history to ever have that level of exposure to other conversations. There's books. You can read a book. Takes a long time. Not many people are reading.
Yeah, because it's not like going to a seminar or like a sermon or something where it's a communal experience, or a comedy show, like you're all laughing along.
But even then, like how often do you go to those? Once a week? Like you can listen to 5 podcasts a day if you want. Mm-hmm. And so one of the things that I've been thinking about is the effect that people have on your brain. Like when you keep listening to them, like obviously you're going to pick up their turns of phrases and their styles and their mannerisms. And it can be kind of like hard to get those out of your head. Mm-hmm. And like kind of be yourself.
I say doggy all the time because I listen to Louis J. Gomez's podcast.
Exactly. What is he do? He does Skankfest, right?
Yeah.
And what's his show, his podcast? Legion of Skanks?
He has Legion of Skanks in the Real Life podcast.
Yeah.
It's a free plug for Louis J. Gomez.
Did you go to Skankfest? I heard it was pretty good.
I went to one in 2017 in New York, right when I started stand-up.
No, Rebecca from Creek owns that, right? Mm-hmm. As well. Did you ever go to Creek in New York? Or
that's where the Skankfest was that I went to, yeah.
That's cool.
So it was like a tiny little black box theater. I think I saw Rebecca there. I think she was bartending. I was going to say something to her, but she was so busy at the time.
Yeah. It's so funny how like many roles there are in comedy. And obviously the one that everyone wants to be is the man on the stage. But I didn't even know if everyone wants to do that.
Some people like being opening acts. Some people like producing shows. Like, I don't mind producing shows because they make money, which is nice. And then, like, if you produce a show, you get your own stage time. That's, like, the best thing a new comic can do.
Yeah, like host your own show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because hosting's a job. Like, you don't have to be funny to host. Like,
and it builds a similar muscle where you're able to improv and kind of make jokes off what the last guy said.
And you're always first on stage, which isn't easy. So it's just like a good challenge. You work a lot of muscles doing that. Yeah. And then learning how to promote shows. Like there's a lot of guys in Austin that are doing really well.
You ever think of doing stuff like improv or anything else like creatively in the domain of entertainment to try to exercise that same stage muscle?
Maybe take an improv class just to get out of my comfort zone.
Yeah, right.
Because it's something I don't want to do.
Same.
Maybe take a storytelling class. That would be good. I want to learn how to tell stories.
It's such an important skill.
Yeah, I'd like to tell more stories, produce more shows. Did one down here, but it was at an outdoor venue, and they were like, "Can you put something on the flyer to say don't bring your kids?" And I was like, "No, I'm just gonna go to a bar that doesn't allow kids into the building."
Do kids go to comedy shows? Like, I don't know.
They go to craft breweries with their parents for some reason. It's all kids and dogs over there. It's absolutely insane. I don't know how that became like such a thing. But
what do you have any other kind of like ambitions? Like one of the things that I think of like as a good challenge for comedians, just to see where they're at, is like what
this is breaking me out of my comfort zone because these are things that I have to think about.
Oh yeah, let's break out of the
5-year plan that I'm working on.
Yeah. Tell me where you're going to be in 2028.
Yeah. Like I just turned 35 in 5 years. I'm going to be 40. If I'm still a broke open mic comedian at 40, I'm not going to be happy with how things have gone.
Oh man, it is rough being on the other side of 35, but whatever.
Yeah.
We're all going to get there. I'm already there. I'm facing 37. Yeah. Pretty fucking crazy. But so what if somebody gave you $100,000 a year? Let's make it a nice, tasty.
I think about that.
$500,000.
If I won the lottery or something, like I don't want to blow it all.
Well,
like I want.
Let's say it's a guaranteed thing where you're always going to have income forever and you never have to worry about it. And
it's
going to be no, it's going to be tasty. It's going to be $500K.
Okay.
And
then I could have a place on both coasts.
Yeah.
An apartment on both coasts. Doesn't need to be fancy.
Yeah.
Somewhere I can lay my head.
But all you're doing is producing other people's content. So you're making $500,000 a year, and your job is to produce content for other people, or $75,000 a year forever doing comedy.
I'll take the 75.
Really? Right? Yeah. I think there's a multiplier.
I can never break that 75.
You can never go above 75.
No matter how good I get.
Yeah, you're capped at 75. You're world famous. Everyone knows your name.
I'm Kevin Hart level, making $75,000.
Yeah. That's the curse. That's the curse.
Or $500,000 being behind the scenes and no one knows who I am and I'm not really like creatively expressing myself.
But you're still like involved. You're still in the scene, but you're not actually putting your creativity out there.
Am I ever on mic?
Never.
No, I always like producing.
Yeah.
I want to be the face of the content.
I think that there has to be a 10x multiplier on your income when you do something creatively. And so if you make $5, that's $50. You just made $50 of doing something that is like, it's not a bad job. People love doing that job. They're happy to do it and you make great money, but it's not like your thing, is the way I think about it.
Right.
And so I don't know, like there's a lot of opportunities to make money in this world. And
dude, there's so many grifts and scams and like legit ways of doing things now.
I feel like every course is a scam. Like we talked about, people like buying them and they just like collecting courses.
Ryan Long just put out a good sketch. There's like, he's a guy that teaches people how to make money. So he makes money off of teaching people how to make money.
That's everything. Yeah.
And then he like turns into a pyramid scheme where you get more, you teach people how to make money.
And it all flows to the top. That's kind of like Tim Ferriss, you know him, the 4-Hour Work Week.
I know the name.
I mean, he gets
brought up a lot on podcasts.
Yeah, I'm not against him at all. He's kind of like in the tech community or whatever.
Yeah.
But a lot of these guys, they make their money kind of in that way of like, this is how you make money. It's the same thing as Andrew Tate. How do you make money? Telling other people how to make money. Okay, well, that's kind of bullshit.
Yeah.
I don't know. Make $10 million, make $100 million that way. Yeah. I don't care. Do whatever.
His thing is like, I've made so much money like running all these businesses and stuff, which are all like kind of shady actually. But then the big thing was promoting himself as a millionaire. And like, do you want to be like me?
Yeah.
Join my Discord.
There's something bullshitty about all that. Yeah. I don't know.
It is weird to be like, I guess the top G, but then still like need to be famous.
Yeah, like the top G is like you want to know who the top G is? Elon Musk. He goes in.
The top Gs, you don't know who the fuck they are.
Yeah, that's true. They're like some Rothschilds character. They're like, they're old like trillionaires.
Saudi oil princes.
Yeah.
Who allegedly are like even trillionaires, but like none of their money's on the books. Like they're off the grid.
Private wealth. It makes you wonder how much private wealth there is because there's no way to know.
Yeah.
And you have these families that have been, the royal family is a good example. All their stuff is public, but how many other families have been like accruing wealth throughout history? So if you had kids and you had a bunch of money, what would you try to do with it? Would you try to like pass it on to them, or like there's something about taking someone's struggle away? It's nice to have a struggle. Yeah,
I like the people that tell their kids, I'm rich, you're not.
Yeah.
You got to make your own money.
Yeah.
And do your own thing.
Because otherwise, like, what is the incentive to get out there and work if you're just everything is made in the shade or whatever?
Yeah, otherwise you're like a Hunter Biden, like smoking crack.
Yes.
Like fucking you don't know what to do with yourself.
Yeah. What did he say? Like he called Biden the big man or whatever. Like, wasn't he doing like, I don't know, like some kind of shady deals
for him. Yeah, I don't remember what it was.
Yeah. I don't know. Generational
like
wealth
no
is
respect
creepy.
for his father, who just like gave him all this money, gave him like no-show jobs in Ukraine.
Yeah,
like, I don't know a ton about this stuff, but
yeah.
There's like what do they call it? Affluenza.
Yeah, where people kill themselves from affluent families. Is that what you're talking about? I've heard of something
or people
like
that they just don't know how to act in society. Like it really that term caught fire when this kid was drinking and driving. I think killed a mother and a daughter in a car accident. And his lawyer's like, he doesn't know any better. He's so fucking rich. He doesn't know right from wrong. He has affluenza.
I wonder how those kids get a distorted perspective. There was something I used to live in Palo Alto, and it's like a very tech community, lots of like rich tech guys.
Yeah.
A lot of their kids were like, this is terrible, jumping in front of trains.
Yeah.
Offing themselves.
Were they all like zonked out on Xanax and stuff?
Probably something. but like they were kids, they were teenagers, like they had their whole life ahead of them, and whatever they were facing was somehow so terrible. And then you have to imagine there's some kid in the third world who just wakes up with the sunrise and is just pleased to breathe.
Oh yeah.
You know, and he's like, I got rice in my belly, it's a great day.
Yeah, those hunter-gatherer tribes who were just busy all day to make dinner for tonight.
So we know that money isn't the solution. It cannot be the solution. Otherwise, those kids would be depressed and the rich kids wouldn't want to die or whatever. Right. And so it helps, but it's not like, it cannot be the end game. Yeah. The end game has to be. That's why I would take the 75,000 too, because I would still be hungry.
Yeah. Well, that's maybe I can break this curse, dude.
Yeah, there you go. We're going to try to break the curse.
I think that's what we're all striving towards, is to break the curse.
Yeah. What is the curse?
The curse of life, man. The curse of humanity.
Yeah. Is it a curse? It kind of seems like it can be.
It's a gift and a curse, I guess.
Yeah. Animals are super chill. They're not worried. Yeah. Like there's no suicidal animals, right? Every dog is just happy. Mm-hmm. But humans are aware of how things could be.
Tim Warner was on Kill Tony on Monday, and he got The Secret Show. And I went and saw him last night, and he was doing a bit about that. How like animals don't have existential crises.
Yeah. They're just chill.
We're the only species like cursed with that.
Yeah.
With it's not sentience.
It's like self-consciousness.
Self-consciousness, yeah.
Yeah, like we can...
Self-awareness.
Self-awareness, and we can think about things in a way that we can like compare and be like, oh, this person has this thing, I want that. Well, first of all, you could probably get it. If they got it and you're a person, you could probably get it too. Like maybe you can't do the Elon Musk thing, but like maybe you could if you dedicated your entire existence to it for 30 fucking years like he did. Mm-hmm. You know, like people, I saw this
and he's the richest man in the world, and he's still striving for more. Like that's
because he doesn't.
The curse.
Yeah, he is trying to probably break the curse. I mean, who knows what motivates that guy? He's kind of like his own character.
Is he worried about the future of humanity, or is he just like being the richest guy in the world?
I think he likes being the richest guy in the world.
Yeah,
but a lot of the things that I think he does have like an altruistic tilt, and you know. Is it bad that he wants to make a lot of money? No. Like, did he buy Twitter because he's like trying to protect free speech, or did he just?
Is it the ultimate troll? Is it ultimate Twitter troll?
Well, or did he? And he didn't want to get canceled. First of all, he didn't want to get suppressed. He wanted to have control, and also it was like this like. A great house that was just kind of dilapidated, just need a couple of rolls of paint, flip it back on the market for 10x or whatever. Yeah. And if you can actually pull it off.
You cut out half the landscapers and
you fire all of the contractors. Staff, seriously. Instantly profitable just from firing everyone.
Yeah, he just put I was obsessed with Twitter from 2009 up to like 2015. And then I saw a lot of the social justice stuff rolling in because Tumblr fell apart because they eliminated pornography. So then Tumblr dumped on to Twitter. And then Trump announced he was running in 2015. And I was like, this is not going to get good. Like, it's not the type of content I want to be into anymore. Yeah. So I got off there. But I will check Twitter on my desktop once in a while. I'll go to somebody's profile or something. But I saw that Elon just implemented the view count on tweets. Yeah. And such that little tweak I love. Yeah. Because you can actually that actually shows how well that tweet's doing. Totally. Because like I don't retweet a lot. I don't favorite a lot of stuff. I don't reply to a lot of things. And those are the only metrics that they were measuring success on.
That's the funny thing about like Twitter is it's been such a staple in social media for so long, and yet they never evolved. You know, like they weren't adding features. They weren't creating anything new or interesting. In fact, what they were doing was buying rivals like Vine and then shutting them down. Vine was the original TikTok. Mm-hmm. That was like the first, Snapchat was the first player in short form video. Right. But then Vine and even like Snapchat kind of missed a little bit of the boat there. I mean, I used to work there, and so... Oh, really? Yeah, I spent 6 years there.
Well, Instagram stories came in and killed them.
Killed us, yeah.
And then Kylie Jenner put the nail in the coffin. Yeah. Does anyone even use Snapchat anymore? Rude. Their stock fucking tanked.
That was painful. But
were you there at the time?
Oh, yeah, I was for all of it. But the company was always based more around one-to-one communication is how the founder Evan always talked about it in the
Is that Evan Spiegler?
Spiegel, yeah, and Bobby Murphy.
Yeah.
And so
what were you doing at Snapchat?
I was in engineering. Okay. And so coding basically. Yeah. So I built our first version.
Were you on dick detection? Was that you?
Yeah, I was all the nudes were coming to me. I still got them on a hard drive. No, I built some cool stuff.
Does the company have access to any of the pictures that get like traded on there?
No, like data retention we have really strong data retention policies because it's so expensive to retain data.
Right.
So it costs money to, like memories.
Meta can do that.
Meta, I mean, probably anyone can store all that if they want to because the cost of storage goes down, but it's still something where like, that your costs are growing every single day from just storing all that data. So you actually want to get data off your servers as a cost savings mechanism.
So if I delete a picture off of Instagram, it's probably gone?
Yeah, probably. Because why would they pay, 6 cents a year times 1 billion users to do that?
Right.
Or whatever it is. Could be more.
Yeah. All of our random stalkers screenshot everything anyway, so it's on them to retain that data.
And I there's some permanence on the internet. Maybe the rule is like whatever you don't want to exist forever will exist forever. Yeah. Anything that was cool will be gone.
I've been obsessed with these YouTube documentaries by this guy, Trap Lil Ross. He's a white kid from London who's obsessed with American hip hop. And he does these long form, like an hour to 3 hour documentaries on gangs and rap groups and rap beefs and stuff. And everyone's like, how do you get all this information? Like, blah, blah, blah. Where do you find all this shit? He's like, I fucking Google it. It's all out there.
Yeah.
There's all these blogs and sites dedicated to these rappers. They incriminate themselves all day. They go on Instagram Live and threaten their opposition. They go on there and make all these death threats, and they write all these songs and say people's names and stuff, and they shoot music videos with all these guys in the background. All he does is just parse through all of this free information that people like. Yeah, they take screen recordings of their Instagram lives. They post them on Reddit. There's screenshots. Their music videos are all on YouTube. Their songs are all on Spotify. He's like, these guys are incriminating themselves left and right.
Dude, rappers, they talk about the shit they do. And okay, so did you hear about that law? Oh, where did I hear that? That you cannot use rap lyrics against a rapper in court now.
Good, yeah.
It's a musical.
Trying to do that with Young Thug.
Was that it? I had just heard about this.
There's a lot of guys that do it, but Young Thug got a RICO case slapped against him.
What's RICO?
Racketeering involved corrupt organization.
Dude, how'd you pull that out of your brain?
It's either corrupt or criminal organization.
You're like, it's in there.
Because a lot of people are getting hit with RICOs in the rap game right now. It's how they brought down the mob in the 70s. It's how they were able to get the mob bosses. Oh. So if you were hired to kill somebody, they can get the guy that hired you. They can arrest that guy.
Through the racketeering or whatever, through that.
Yeah.
See, that's the cool thing about YouTube, though, is like it does have those unique people and they're just super into whatever they're into. And then they can make a living on that and they can like, why that guy was into rap or whatever, gathering all that stuff. Who knows? Yeah. But it's cool.
I think it's good for the culture, too, because a lot of these kids coming up are going to watch these documentaries and they're going to be like, well, I'm not going to do what this kid did.
Yeah. I mean, there's negative examples and positive examples, and both are good for learning.
Because a lot of them are just copying what works right now, and it's doing real street shit, rapping about real street shit, and then going to jail for this street shit. But a lot of these kids, it sucks because like the labels are like preying upon these kids too. A lot of the guys that are blowing up now have only been rapping since like the pandemic started, and they have 1 or 2 songs that go viral on TikTok. The record labels scoop them up, take possession of all of their material. Yep. They get a piece of everything that they do. The guy either dies or goes to jail. They're in the news. Their views and streams blow up. The record label gets a quick hit on that, and then they move on to the next kid.
That's like predatory, actually.
It's super predatory. But
if I was a kid, what would you do if you were 15 right now? In this landscape, yeah.
Right now,
subtract 20 years.
I would probably be more addicted to porn than I already am.
Well, yeah, that's every 15-year-old's duty.
I'm kind of doing what the 15-year-old. I'm on YouTube watching rap documentaries and like Bronx drill music videos and shit.
Yeah, I guess we're doing what every 15-year-old would be doing: trying to do content, trying to do comedy, trying to do YouTube.
I'd be smoking way better weed.
Yeah.
There'd be better skate parks out there right now. Like, kids gotta have it better if you can get out of the house and do something. Like,
it's crazy. Like, if I was 15, I'd have a YouTube channel, and I'd be doing all that stuff.
My friends and I were like rapping on the internet back in like 2005, but like there wasn't like a SoundCloud yet. YouTube had just come out. I don't know if we ever even put a video on YouTube.
But it was seen even until I remember mocking YouTubers. Like in 2018, I was mocking YouTubers. And I was just like, oh, but it's like, oh shit, this is like an unlimited business opportunity where the crazy thing, and I've said this a million times, I'm going to say it a million times more because it blows my mind.
Yeah.
Of every ad that's shown on YouTube, the creator gets the majority share. That's like symbolic. That's like amazing. Google makes less money on a YouTube video than the person who uploaded it.
Right.
That's like a miracle to me.
Yeah.
And so that means there's no cap. If you can make a $10 million video or a 10 million view video, that is whatever. That's like 50 grand. And if you're minting, like, James DeFranco is a good example. He's minting like 1 million views 3 times a week. So like, that's craziness. Multiply that for 20 more years. We're going to see YouTube billionaires. We're going to see YouTube billionaires. Mr. Beast might be one of them.
He already said that he was offered $1 billion for everything.
He'll never take it because he has the perfect machine to express himself and his content, and he can build in any direction.
Yeah.
And
then if he gets sick of making content, he knows how to make viral content. He can just get another face in the video.
But would he ever, like, for the same reason you would take the 75 grand to do stand-up instead of the more money producing is the same reason he's always going to do YouTube. He just loves it.
Well, he's only 24.
Yeah, that's what's so cool about him.
Yeah, so like who knows what he's gonna like be into when he's 30.
Yeah.
He might be over like
maybe
Antarctica.
Yeah. Well, maybe his style will evolve, and that would be interesting to see what it changes.
It's so funny the work he puts into for a 15-minute video.
Dude, it's crazy. I went to this VidCon conference where he spoke at to try to figure out YouTube and meet some of those guys. He goes and obsesses over every single detail. My favorite is the thumbnail. He spends like 20 grand on thumbnails. Want to know why? Because it super matters. And he's like monitoring the impression, click-through rate of every video. And if it's not what he expects, he's trying a new title, trying a new thumbnail.
Yeah, they constantly update their thumbnails too.
Yeah. Until they find the one that like, has because nobody really knows. One of the most annoying things, and I would really appreciate it if YouTube would integrate this natively, is like it's very easy for these tech companies to create A/B tests. They do it all day long. Every feature that you see on YouTube is A/B tested before it released. All the metrics are tracked. Does it hurt time in app? Does it boost this engagement metric that we're looking for? Whatever the goal is.
Yeah.
They need to give all that tech to YouTubers so they can test a different title, because how would you know? You're just doing things you think you'd like, but maybe there's like 50 versions. And if you could try all those with AI, right? Get them to generate a bunch of different variants.
Tinder does that with the smart photos.
Boom. That is exactly what we need. That's exactly what we need. We need the Tinder smart photos for thumbnails.
Yeah.
That'd be dope.
You just upload 10 of them and like see which one hits.
Yep.
That is smart.
And especially if AI helped you make all those. So you create the base version and then you're like, give me 5 elaborations of this. And it takes 1 second. That's the future we're headed to.
Right.
So I think content creators are going to be in for a party in the next 5 years. And basically, yeah, because like you're going to create your podcast and have an episode, and then you're going to run it through this AI bot for $3, and it's going to remove anything that drops retention. And how does it know? It's analyzed every single one of your videos and looked at drops in retention, which is the data that YouTube gives you. So anytime that it can create an ID off something that could possibly create a drop in retention, automatically cuts it out of the video. And then your
so any like long pauses or
anything. Yeah. I mean, at that conference, Mr. Beast was saying like even a cough can, obviously I'm not worried about that stuff. Like I'm just starting out, but like
this podcast is going to,
let's fucking go. This is going to be the first 100K podcast
with all the coughs.
Yeah. People love the coughs. They like, maybe that's the thing that causes retention.
Yeah.
They're like, we love it when Jesse coughs. It's the best.
Coughing, eating. Yeah, I think like certain like keywords or probably like sounds or something like that. Like
there's going to be
people have a lot of weird aversions.
right. And all that data is going to be available in the retention graph. And so these AIs are going to be able to learn exactly how to do that stuff. But, we're probably, I always think everything's closer than it actually is. But
some people, like, I don't like stuff that's like super crisp and clean sometimes. Like, I like some of the raw shit.
Me too. Where
like you have to if it cut out all the pauses, it's like, what if someone's like taking like a pause, just like think for a moment, and then you cut that out?
yeah. Well, and also like comedy is a good example of where like the pause is the joke, and the timing really matters and is intentional.
I have a joke where I don't even have to finish the punchline half the time because people like it automatically like pops in their head and they laugh.
Yeah.
So like I'm just like silent. And then I go, thank you. I'm just really...
That's fucking cool.
Yeah.
So what's your comedy ambitions? What do you want? What do you want to happen in 2023?
In 2023, book me, dude. Put me on stage. I'm available right now. The calendar is wide.
For women and comedy. Or not?
I don't know.
Okay.
Like, I've been trying to get a date. That's not going...
Are you on the dating apps or...
I'm on the dating apps. I'm on Hinge.
Nice.
I'm on Tinder. I'm getting no action.
What about Bumble?
On either of them. I don't know. I don't do Bumble.
I think Bumble's the best because you pay the lifetime fee. It's like $90 or whatever it is.
A lifetime membership?
Lifetime.
For unlimited swipes or whatever?
Yeah, whatever the membership is. Yeah. But those dating apps, they never work.
As a member of the Manosphere, I want to say that the dating apps are after they prey on straight white guys. I think they suppress us in the algorithm and force us to spend all the money on the boosts in the fucking...
That's probably true.
All that shit.
Yeah. Oh, I bought 1 million boosts. Yeah. Go to a new city, want to see what's up, get a date for the night,
way
better.
Boost it up. Maybe white girls in Austin just like black guys because there's not a lot of them down here.
Is there not? It seems like Austin actually has a pretty good diversity. Like people always say there's no black people, but
according to Google, the Austin population is 7% black.
Is that not a lot?
It's not a lot.
What's America?
Like 25 maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's pretty
good.
If
we had a voice command, we would look it up, right?
Yeah. We need the AI. Most people are Asian. I didn't know that until a couple of years ago. Like almost everyone is Asian.
Oh, like genetically?
I think over half I think over half of all people alive today are Asian, of some Asian descent. I think it's like 60% or something. We could look it up, but we don't have to.
My sister did a 23andMe, and we're like very Western European, like mostly like British, I think.
Same.
Like 80% British, something like that. Yeah.
Standard white.
Yeah.
It's not so bad.
Yeah, someone's like, what are you? I was just all types of white.
Yeah, all types of white.
Girls think I'm Eastern Bloc, like Albanian. I used to
see that.
At the laser factory, I worked with a lot of Albanians. And I wear an Adidas track jacket. That doesn't help either. They're like, are you Albanian?
Why are they always wearing track jackets? Because it's comfortable.
It's something to do with the Olympics or something like that.
Oh, yeah?
Well,
there's a reason?
Adidas is German.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
Yeah, I was reading a history on tracksuits, and I forget. But like, yeah, the Olympics had something to do with it. But
so we're gonna get you booked on shows.
Yeah,
you're gonna be headlining. We're gonna get on the road.
Yeah, dude. Let's
fucking go.
I can do 30 minutes probably.
Can you really? I cannot even do 3 right now. I haven't been on stage in months.
I can be up there for 30 minutes.
I can do a flaccid 3, a soft 3, a loose 3.
Yeah, I'll do a loose 45.
I'll open for anyone in any city, anywhere. Yeah. You got a loose 3 from me for free, right?
Goals are just write more material, do more time on stage.
Yep. It'd be cool when Rogan's podcast opens, or not podcast.
Club opens.
Club opens.
I'm looking forward to that because everyone, people say, Jesse, where's the Austin comedy scene right now, and where's it going?
Yeah, where is it?
There was a scene here, and they all hid from COVID, is what I heard. Like when I showed up, everyone's like, oh, the old scene, the old guard. I'm like, where are they? Like,
Velveeta Room, like where are they?
Who are these people? Where are they at? All these new clubs open, all these new comics came in, all these new open mics opened up. So I call it like the comedy Taliban came in. There's like no central leadership. Yeah. Everyone's fighting.
It is militaristic too.
Yeah, there's like all these factions formed, and they're running these rooms, and they book each other on these shows and whatnot. But once Rogan's Club opens up, it's all going to funnel into that. That's going to be the main goal, because that's going to be like the Comedy Store of the South.
What if he does it bad? What if it's like a shitty club?
I don't know.
I doubt he did. I mean, he had a lot of feedback.
There's
no way
it's on some too big to fail
it'll be
type
great.
shit.
Yeah, it'll be great.
The biggest, richest comedian in the world owns it.
Is he the richest?
He's got to be up there, dude.
He makes 1/10 the money he could if he tried. So whatever.
Yeah.
Like, just make all your podcast NFTs. You're a billionaire.
I mean, before Spotify, he was making 30 mil a year off that podcast.
Yeah.
And then the 100 million was only the licensing fee. They also run ads on my paid Spotify subscription. So where's that money going?
What is that? What is that? Why are they running ads on a paid subscription? I hate that shit.
Because I don't know, but there's more money. I'm sure Rogan's getting a piece of that. He's reading those ads.
Totally.
So there's a piece over there. He's doing 10 to 20,000 seat arenas when he goes out.
I mean, it's cool, but I think he's not very motivated by money.
No, but he's definitely one of the high. Was he on the list of the highest earning comedians?
He has to be. He's
got to be.
Entertainers, right? Like,
it's always like Jeff Dunham and Seinfeld and stuff, but like,
who are the best entertainers outside of comedy?
Outside of comedy?
Yeah. I love The Rock. Like, that guy doesn't even seem real to me. He's just like injecting tests in his ass and like working out or whatever he does. I don't know, however he does it.
Yeah, as a specimen, he's fascinating.
He's a specimen, man. He's a specimen.
His like worth, he's trying to break the curse. Like, what is he working so hard?
Oh God,
for?
I think he makes like 50 million. Yeah, right. What motivates The Rock? Yeah. That is a good question.
How physically and fame wise, how much bigger can you get?
Right. I mean, but he's just like coasting and riding this wave endlessly. It's been like a long time. And he's not slowing down. He's like building a new Iron Paradise or whatever. Yeah. His gym.
He just wants to like leave a legacy or something.
That's cool.
I guess.
Yeah. I totally respect that.
Same with like Kevin Hart. It's like.
And Kevin Hart's another example.
And like, yeah, I think his special was called What Now? Because he played a 50,000 seat arena in his hometown. He's like, where do I go from there? Yeah. And like Fluffy played Dodger Stadium, sold out 2 shows.
I'm so happy we get people like Louis C.K. back. I was so pissed that he even took any time off. But I think like, what did he do? He jacked off in front of a couple people. Is that the worst? Okay, this is a joke I wanted to make. Where it's like, I get that that's bad. First of all, people can say no. Secondly.
Never lock the door.
Yeah, it's like, secondly, if Henrietta Weinstein was like, hey, compound for like an hour and I'm going to make you like, I'm going to put you in the show and I'm going to elevate you and blah, blah, blah. I'd do that in a heartbeat. Yeah. I'd do that in a heartbeat. Gladly. I'd tell everyone. I'd be like, check this shit out. Yeah. Look what happened to me. And then like this other person is somehow, I don't know, maybe I should get canceled. Maybe I'm a misogynist.
There were a lot of women that said yes to Harvey Weinstein too.
But like, why is that the worst thing in the world? Is that the worst thing in the world?
The girls that said no weren't allowed to say no, which isn't right.
They weren't allowed to say no.
Well, Harvey.
First of all, let's just get clear. He's the creepiest guy ever, and he looks like a goblin.
Yeah, and he forced himself upon women. Yeah.
Yeah, like he's a Bill Cosby character. I'm not defending him. Whatever. I'm just saying, if somebody gave me an opportunity that was somewhat analogous, I would say thank you.
There's probably a pussy I wouldn't eat for fame.
Really?
It's got to be out there, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Eat is rough. Yeah. But, like, is it really that worse than wrestling?
If she's Henrietta Weinstein, she's going to want her box eaten.
That would be rough. Yeah. I mean, but if it was just like the same thing you're going to get when 2 guys wrestle, right? You're going to get some ball sweat in your mouth. That's the worst thing that's going to happen. It's like, okay, I could deal with that for 50 million.
I've never wrestled.
I think so. You got 2 sweaty guys rolling around on the mat. It just drips in your mouth. Has to happen. That has to happen. Anyway, cancel me. I'm fucked.
It's at the end of the pod. No one watches the end of the pod.
Yeah. Now they skip to the end to see the crazy shit that you wrap up with.
Right. That's true.
But let's bring this one home. Okay, so what are your socials and how can people find you? And
Lonely Man's Podcast on all platforms. Please subscribe on YouTube. We have a Patreon, patreon.com/lonelymans. We do.
And you got subscribers. Hell yeah.
We got a few on there. We need a few more, and then we can start making money. Which would be nice.
That's real shit.
Monetize and make the podcast better. So if you like the podcast, you want to make it better, patreon.com/lonelymans. On Instagram at jesse.burlingame. I think my OnlyFans is down now.
We'll have to do a collab on OnlyFans at some point.
We should.
I just started mine.
I think OnlyFans wants to get out of the porn game desperately. They're trying to get creators and comedians and stuff in there.
Oh, yeah?
So that might be like the next wave to try to jump on.
Oh,
they're like producing original content. So something like so that it's a joke now, but it might be a real thing in the future.
Yeah.
Like subscribe to my OnlyFans.
It's a broad brand. They can, or broad brush, OnlyFans.
And if you want me to eat your box for fame, slide in the DMs, dude.
We'll both go in. How about $2 million each?
Are we splitting the $75,000? We're gonna go.
Oh, I was thinking
37.5 each.
Yeah. We'll get paid. We'll get paid at some point. All right, man. Thank you so much for coming on.
Dude, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Have fun editing out all the coughs on the podcast. So.
Oh, we'll keep them all in.
Yeah, keep it raw. Keep it real. People like the coughs.
People love the coughs.
Hell yeah.
All right. See you guys.